Und damit willkommen zurück zu The Great Ace Attorney Results 2 Chronicles, meine Lieben. Ja, wir stellen immer noch die Frage, was und vor allem dieses was ist hier eigentlich los? Finden wir es am besten heraus, würde ich behaupten. You claim the inspector confessed just before his death, but that is the fabrication. No, he freely acknowledged it. I swear he did. Freely, with the tip of a sword at his throat. The man was clearly at his wit's end. Könnte man so zumindest wirklich interpretiert, so wie er es gerade gesagt hat, muss man sagen. Aber dementsprechend, hey, es ist halt jetzt halt mal wieder so diese typische Aussage gegen Aussage-Situation. Muss man mal fairerweise nur mal so sagen. The court will give no credence to this confession that was actually tolerate of VC disparations. Dementsprechend, quite simple, there was nothing questionable about the investigations of Lord Clint von Six death, and with this testimony we have without question uncovered the whole truth of the matter. If I may, my lord. There was most certainly something questionable about it, and the whole truth does rather elude us, I feel. I beg your pardon. Well, you're obviously aware of the facts of the case. All four of the professor's previous victims did when an enormous beast was set up them that ripped out their throats. Oh, such horrifying crimes. But curious, the killer's last victim, Lord Clint von Six, suffered a different fate. Yes, you're right. He was stabbed through the heart with a sword. That's enough. I believe I warned you about this witness. I promise to curtail your testimony as soon as it entered the realms of suppositions or speculations. Very well, my lord. In that case, the defense will pursue a conclusion on this during the cross-examination. What? I have the right to cross-examine every witness after testimony, and I fully intended to exercise that right. Rionoske. I'm afraid that even the presiding judge has no authority to contra even the letter of the law, as I am sure every member of the judiciary present in the gallery would agree. Very well, if you may begin, Consul. However, the moment your argument strays from the established facts, I will not hesitate to bring the cross-examination to and proceed with caution. Yes, my lord. Oh boy. Ich wüsste jetzt auch fairerweise nicht, welchen Beweis ich da jetzt vorhalten müsste, muss man sagen. Dementsprechend Autopsie auf Clint von 6. Dementsprechend die ersten 2 geblieben, dann kommt 7 und der andere einmalige ist, aber okay. Also ich sollte vielleicht auf Q drücken und nicht auf W, fairerweise. Deswegen habe ich mich auch gerade gewundert, warum geht das jetzt hier los? You couldn't say it. No, sadly not. But then you couldn't say there wasn't any indications Ada told you. No, true, I couldn't. I was at Dr. Wilson's side as he performed the procedure, recording what he did, but it came times, of course, he instructed me to fetch implications such like whilst I was away from the operating table. Obviously, I could have missed something. And at those times, what was the secondary assistant doing? Following this Japanese man's orders to adjust the lighting or pass him implements. But that doesn't mean Mama wasn't a vital part of the team. Quiet, yes. So would you kindly refrain from staring at me cheek like that? Professor Mikotoba, think, was there nothing at all that seemed out of place to you? Oh, well, yes, there was, as a matter of fact. Das weiß ich jetzt nicht, welchen Beweis ich da vorlegen müsste, I guess. Deswegen, yay. Dementsprechend, yay. Dementsprechend, yay. Hat ja doch nichts weiter übrig erstmal, als sämtliche Werte Personen zu fragen, I guess. In all of the previous 4 killings attribute to the professor. The victims were killed by enormous dog. I believe their throats were well molded. Correct, and yet Plattform 6 was stabbed. Do you mean to say you think Lord von 6 may not in fact have been one of the professor's victims? There is no basis on which to doubt the findings of the investigations carried out at the time, but Genshin Azori confessed to all of his crimes upon his arrest. He admitted to having taken the lives of all 5 members of the aristocracy. Yet the best that was used to carry out the killings was never identified. No evidence was found to suggest Genshin had ever kept a dog. A true hound of hell. Oh boy. There so. But you weren't actually present at the autopsy yourself. Where are you, Dr. Gorey? doesn't that matter? Well, I just wonder how useful your testimony can be in that case, really. I mean, it would be different if your mother, Dr. Seitz, were insistent, but I've read all the paperwork about the case, and Mama's told me the story countless time. The statement I just made is exactly what's written in the autopsy report. I didn't confirm that myself at the time. It's truth. Besides the step won't, there were no massive signals of international trauma. I see. Mama told me about it. Oh. She said there was nothing of note internally, but they didn't find an amazing piece of evidence, something unbelievable. Unbelievable? What did you mean? Come on, Dr. Corey. What was it? Ja, das würde mich jetzt auch mal fairerweise interessieren, was das wäre, muss man sagen. Sagen wir das mal so, wie es ist. What exactly was it thought? What does beautiful but dangerous mean? Well, it was sparkly and around with a hole, as if it made slip over fingers perhaps. It was ring bowling to Genshin Asogi. My father's ring was inside the victim's stomach? At the time Genshin wore a large ring on the digitals quarters of his left hand, the fourth or ring finger. I'd understood it was some sort of keepsake. When my father left for London 16 years ago, I was 8 years old, but I remember that ring. Do you? My father's possessions were sent to our family home in Japan after his death, but the ring wasn't among them. Obviously not. It was a key piece of evidence. It remains under lock and key in the stores at Scotland Yard to this day. After the autopsy, Genshin was summoned by the police to check for the presence of this ring. It wasn't on his hand, of course. Moreover, there were deep abrasions on his finger, where it had of been pulled off. They arrested the man there then right before my eyes. How could be? I brought the ring along with me today. What? Here it is. A bit dusty from years in the stores. Good creases, yes, that is it. I haven't seen that in 10 long years. And that was found inside the victim's stomach? Yes, I'm afraid so. You hesitate, the Professor Mikotoba. Should we read something into that? Ah, well, it's just thinking back now. I didn't actually witness the moment it was extracted from the victim's body. Oh my, really? At the precise moment, Dr. Wilson said, asked me to fetch him a new scalpel, you see. Dr. Corey, the removal of historic evidence from the storage. request my consent, does it not? However, it came to be here in court. Can it deny it that this crucial evidence for today's proceedings? Very well, you may submit it. It's just... it's not the sort of ring normally in Japan. They almost look like cloth rows sitting that Juli. We must examine it very carefully, Mr. Naruto. Very careful indeed. Ich will jetzt halt hier fairerweise nichts präsentieren, muss ich sagen, weil ich jetzt halt fairerweise erstmal diesen nennenswerten Ring untersuchen will. Da muss man so wie es ist, bevor ich hier mit der Zeugenaussage weitermache, bevor ich das überhaupt generell vergesse. Says Fate Claws are doing a good job of protecting the equally fat gemstone in the middle of this ring. Yes, if you were clumsy, you could give yourself a rather nasty cute on them, I should think. Oh no, my fingers blending. Their claws really are sharp. Why, that was very quite clum since my Naruto, even for you. Oh, cold. You make such a dangerous ring. You couldn't swallow without doing yourself some fairly serious damage. Surely a sticky mochi bun of about that size would go down much better with some red bean based in the middle. Someone as clumsy as me would probably manage to chuck on somehow. Ist das sonst noch irgendwas nennenswert, oder? Serie hat ja eigentlich gemacht, muss man sagen, aber... Okay, wer weiß, steht, dass ich nicht antreten ist, actually, gerade mal. Aber okay. And that was the decisive piece of evidence that led to Genshin Azuki arrest. Correct. After further investigations by Scotland Yard, the man of admitted to his crimes. That's a lie. My father was no killer. Barack von Six, it was you who twisted the truth to suit your purposes. Your hatred of me doesn't change the facts that were established 10 years ago. My brother Clint had closed it on the professor. In the end, he exposed the man and put a stop to his lethal revenge. In the way only a man of math my brother's Calbridge could. Oh boy. That's everything, is it? Poor father, he looks so troubled. Perhaps because 10 years ago something happened that's been weighing on his mind. Oh, I couldn't say where his words. That phrasing was very deliberate, I'm sure. I wonder if he's had his suspicions all of the years. If that's the case, we need to use this cross-examination to prove what really happened and remove any trace of doubt. If we could establish that Kazuma-sama's claim of fabricated evidence was truth, We can shy away from this now, even if what we made uncover could lead to calamity. Don't worry, Mr. Naruhodo, I'll be right beside you, whatever may happen. Also dementsprechend gefühlt müssen wir den Ring bei einer Aussage machen. Gefühlt ist aber das noch so mal eine nennenswerterweise eine Sache. Dementsprechend ist das halt so. Dementsprechend. Das ist halt so die Sache. Dementsprechend, das ist halt so der ganze Sachverhalt. There were no other things of internal injury, nothing questionable. Das ist halt jetzt so die Sache, muss man sagen. Also das ist halt so die Sache. Der Ring muss wieder, aber wenn der Ring quasi da drin war, dann müsste man den ja hier eigentlich präsentieren. Muss man sagen. Eigentlich muss man sagen. The court has heard that the ring was extracted from the victim's stomach, but you didn't actually see it being removed, did you, Professor Mikotoba? That's right, as I said in my testimony before. At that moment I was fetching up a replacement scalpel that Dr. Wilson had requested. In other words, you can neither confirm nor deny whether this ring in fact really came from the victim's stomach or not. What are you suggesting, Consul? That the ring was never in the stomach to begin with. It's entirely feasible that Dr. Wilson fabricated that detail about the autopsy. What are you saying, that Dr. Wilson? That Dr. Wilson was in possession of the ring in advance after it was somehow stolen from Mr. Zogi and proceeded during the procedure, pretending to have found it there and then in the victim's stomach. Supposition it's the best. What possible evidence do you have to support such a rash claim? This evidence right here, that's the autopsy report. It's explicit in that report. Consul, other than the ring, nothing unusual was noted internally, so I'm not sure how you intend to prove your point. You've already done it for me, my lord. The lack of internal injury says it all. What? To swallow a ring of this size would require considerable effort and determination. In addition to this side, there's a sharp clowns intentions to its size. There are the sharp clowns around the gemstones to contend with. My brother was a determined man, and on the brink of death, even more so, I'm sure. He would have stopped it at nothing to ensure that evil killer was brought to justice. But if he really had swallowed that enormous ring, it is inconceivable that its passage down his throat would have remained as internal trauma. No. And there you arrived at the sticking point. That's precisely why I had my doubts about the findings myself 10 years ago. Then why did you say something at the time? I did. I still remember the conversation I had with Dr. Wilson in the laboratory that day. Aber was er jetzt für nennenswerte Gespräche mit Dr. Wilson diesen Tag hatte, dies und vieles mehr erfahren wir beim nächsten Mal. Vielen Dank fürs Einschalten und macht es gut. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Auf Wiedersehen.